Wow. So I always known you as Mr. Ed. What is your real name?
Edward Alexander Gary makes your Christmas extra merry.
So how long have you been living here in Costa Rica?
35 years, I think.
Are you one of the first gringos to move down here, you think?
I have no idea.
Were there
I don't
others?
think so. When we served Playa Bonita in my secret spot in Limon, there was a couple of guys hanging out. I didn't come to Jaco till about 91, I think. I lived in Tarucatas. Then I moved to Rose Moses.
Really?
Then I moved to Piedades. And then I moved to Tibas.
So wait, you were not a surfer guy when you first came to
Sure, I was a surfer guy. I just had to work then, though. I was in the flower business. I used to drive down the highway and cut flowers off the side of the road and put them in boxes and send them to florists.
Where?
All over the country.
Oh, here in Costa Rica?
That's how I got here in the first place. We were surfers in Texas. My neighbor, Dr. Staub, collected orchids and bromeliads, and he found out I got my driver's license when I was 14. We started going on surf trips into Mexico because there wasn't a whole lot of surf in Texas, even though there can be. And so Dr. Staub would pay us he'd show us the orchids and bromeliads he wanted us to collect out of the jungle, and he'd pay us for them when we got back, and that's how we paid for our surf trips into Mexico. So that's how I got first into the ornamental plant business. I was one of the first people to export Caña India from Costa Rica to the States, to the nurseries in Homestead. I used to drive my old power wagon back in the woods in San Ramon and Palmares, and we'd cut down Dracaena mesangiana cane, load it in my power wagon in the trailer we pulled behind it, and haul it out to the highway and put it on my partner's Isuzu Ford, and we'd haul it to the Trapiche where we'd process it and put it in 40-foot trailers and send it to nurseries in Florida. I got in the ornamental plant business, and I used to buy cuttings. I'd sell both the cane, and I'd also buy cuttings, rooted cuttings for nurseries that I would buy from other nurseries here and ship mostly to South Florida to the nurseries there, and they'd grow it on and send it up north to all the malls or wherever they do with all that stuff. And I worked for a guy named David Carley, who had a company called Costa Floridas. And this guy, he was crazy, crazier than me.
That's hard to believe.
He paid people to go in the jungles all over the world and collect heliconias, and he brought them from the jungles of the world and planted them on his farm in Guasimo, and sell heliconias also for florists, and I became one of his top salesmen.
Is that all? Is that the only kind of plants you would sell?
Yes, baby. I never got involved in the other stuff because freedom is too precious to me. I didn't want to take a chance of losing my freedom, even though we're slaves, but we don't know it.
So tell me about Jaco when you first moved here.
Wait, I'm not finished with David Carley. I was cutting banana leaves off the side of the road, wildflowers, all kinds of stuff, and I did pretty good. David had such a big farm, he had the most exotic heliconias on the planet, and he had crossbred some of them, and he had the most incredible heliconias you've ever seen. But people were stealing his plants off his farm and planting them, and they grow pretty quick, so pretty soon everybody was selling the same stuff he had. And he got so pissed off, he burned his whole plantation.
No.
Nothing left.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I got married again in Costa Rica. I have a Costa Rican son. I was married once in Texas, 2 boys there. But so after I'd gotten married, what happened? Something happened after I got married.
You had a kid?
Well, that happened too. But I was still exporting. The name of my company was Florida Tica, SEI, and somebody offered to buy my company. And I was kind of tired of it, even though I did enjoy it. I used to go to this farm in Patarra. This guy had the most incredible plantation of of anthuriums. That's my favorite flower. Unbelievable plant. And I'd go back there, and these guys would cut all the flowers every day. We'd pack them in boxes. But I had to watch them pack them in the box. I had to pack the boxes too, because if I wasn't there, they wouldn't do a great job packing. And the flowers would get to my customer and they go, well, these flowers are crushed. So I had to kind of stay there and make sure they packed them good. And we'd load them up in my pickup, and I'd drive to the airport, and off they'd go with the other stuff I bought from other farms. And so that was pretty cool. But I was kind of tired of it. The guy offered to buy my company, and I sold the company to him. And I went back for a trip to Texas for a visit, and I ran into one of the first surfboard builders in Texas, who was Henry Fry. And the rest is history. I invested with him the money I sold the flower company for, and we brought all this stuff down here and opened Fry Surfboards in Costa Rica. We did pretty good, but Costa Rica's real tough for surfboards. It's you know, everybody comes down with a brand new board and they don't want to pay to take it back, and they drop it off at the stores for $100, and they sell it for $150, so you can get almost a brand new board for $150. Not many folks want to pay $400 or $500 for a surfboard. They'll pay you $700 for an Almeric, but the local guys, they don't want to give us more than about $300. Pico, any of them. Luis, they're all, I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyway, so I went into the surfboard business, and we had a blast. We surfed every day. Alvaro was on it. We had Alvaro Solano, Gustavo Castillo, Hernan Hilton from Salsa Brava, Diego Naranjo. We used to get first, second, third, and fourth in every contest almost. It didn't really seem to help surfboards because, I mean, we were kind of high for the boards for locals then. We were 385, which doesn't sound high, but for then I guess it was. But we did okay, but Henry's wife wanted to move back to the States, and so we left, and then I hung in there for a while and did my boards. And, I moved on. Surfers, we think we're all Mr. Naturals, you know, surfing in the ocean, on the beach, but the surfboards are about as toxic as you can get. Pure poison. I'm only making surfboards out of wood now. And the vapors, I really shouldn't build them anymore because I've breathed in so many of those resins and vapors. It's not good for you. You're supposed to wear a mask, but that don't really do the trick either, because you're all closed in. You can't get any fresh air, and it's hard to breathe through the things. And the foam dust all over the place. It's all, if they wouldn't have invented foam, we'd still be riding wood surfboards. It's a surfboard, for God's sake. Surfboard. Not surf foam, it's a surfboard. As far as the builder goes, it's a lot of work. It's like laying concrete block. You got to shape the foam, dust all over the place, and you got to glass it, sand the glass the other side, sand it. It's a real. Ask anybody that it's a real labor, and people just really don't appreciate that much because there's so many mass producers, and they build them all in Taiwan and China, and it's just whatever. Other problem is it's cheaper to build a surfboard in the States than it is here because everything you use to build a surfboard out here has to be imported and pays taxes. So by the time you buy it all out here, you're screwed before you even get going because the price is so high. In the long run, I started making my own blanks. I made them out of styrofoam, which is what they call epoxy surfboards, and that helped a lot because I could get my costs on the blanks way down. But the resin is twice as high here, so it's kind of tough. The real cost of a surfboard in the States, a blank is $30, $35. A blank here in Costa Rica is $80, $100, $60 at the cheapest. And then you got all the fins, the fin box. It probably costs you $250 just for materials, $200 bare minimum, including the fins and everything. Especially if you're bringing them in. Then you gotta shape it, glass it, polish it out. It's a real chore. For $300, no thanks. For $600 maybe. I mean, and the other thing is, in my day, I don't get it. When I was 15 years old, I was making my own surfboards. So, I don't understand why everybody just doesn't make their own damn surfboard. I mean, after you made a couple, kind of get it down. It's but there's a lot, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great shapers out there. There's great shape. It's good stuff. I just got kind of old for me, that's all.
So how do you spend your time nowadays?
Top secret. Nobody knows. Riding my bike, looking for new adventures.
No shoes.
I'm trying to open a hostel. I've had it open for a while, but I'm remodeling it again right now. And I do some surfboard stuff every now. I make stringers for a guy that builds blanks. Every now and then I'll get a board order. So,
What do you think about Jaco?
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Especially the women. I mean, everybody badmouths Jaco. What's wrong with Jaco? The only problem with Jaco is the sewer system. I remember in about '94, some guy from Norway came through. He's told everybody 3,000 colones a month on their water bill to put in a whole sewer system, and nobody went for it. And everybody said no. I said yes. I'm tired of walking by restaurants and smelling shit. I'm over it. I can't. How can you sit down in a restaurant and have dinner when it smells like that? I don't understand. But anyway, that's the only problem Jaco's got.
What about security? What about nightlife? What about...
Well, you got it all. You can have anything you want. You can go transgender if you want. I think it's a little safer than it was, but I sure as hell wouldn't walk down the beach all by myself at night if I was a woman. I think I'd do it even if I was a man.
So do you see yourself living here until...
Hell freezes over. Be here until hell freezes over. I may be coming and going. Hopefully I can be coming and going here pretty soon. I want to get out of here for a while, but I want to... I'll always call it home from now on, I think, unless I decide to move to New Zealand or something. I'm good with it. I mean, I got... Jaco gets real fun for surf out here. It was kind of a blast yesterday, blown out, but there's a pretty cool little break right in the river mouth. That's my point. And I got Hermosa around the corner. I mean, it's a no-brainer. We're affected by Trump, what Trump does, because I thought he was going to do something different, but he's doing the same thing all over again. So, but we're affected by what the States does to some degree. Remember what happened when the towers fell? This whole thing died. It went, everybody lost all their money. Everybody that came with 2 million ended up with 0. They were going to build all these things and do all this stuff, and the towers fell and everything went to hell. So I would say yes. I think the country lives off of tourism pretty much. I mean, it does have some great exports and all, but that's half the battle. I think tourism makes Costa Rica probably what it is. And it's pretty cool because you get people from all over the place coming through here. So I hope it stays about like it is. I don't know what it could possibly do, other than if we had World War III, I don't know what would happen. Seems to be they're working on it, but I doubt it. It's all just scare tactics.
Okay, well that was an interesting story. I like that. That's all I need.
That's all you need? I got more.
What you got?
The earth is flat.